And we have started the beer. So we've left behind the questions where we were trying to understand why did God split the sea? What does that mean for us to relive that every day? And we started to talk about the idea that the world stands on three things: on Torah, Avoda, Gemilut Chasadim. We're focusing on the Avoda. What does Avoda mean? We said Avoda is referring to Avodas HaKorbanot, the sacrifices that were brought in the temple that we know our prayers are established based on. So there's a very, very strong... The same process that happened physically in the temple with the sacrifices happen in our own day-to-day experience of davening. They mirror each other because one is founded in place of the other. So what we're talking about is the specific... There were different elements of the service in the temple. And within the korbanot, we were talking about the fact that a person would bring their korban, the kohen would light a small fire, and then Hashem would respond with a pillar of fire from heaven, the Zohar says in the shape of a lion, that would then come and consume the korban. And this is the idea which we mentioned, Isarusa de Le'ela. Isarusa de L'Sata, which brings about an Isarusa de Le'ela. We put in our work to the limited capacity that we can, using our external kochot and abilities. And I say external because we know that internally, deep down, we're infinite, just like God. So I'm talking about the external parts of ourselves, the limited parts of ourselves. And then God responds by giving us an ability to access Him in an infinite way. A pen?
I need a less written copy of the mimer.
Oh,
To make copies.
I didn't send I didn't email it to
Did
you?
you just email it to me now?
Yeah.
I will check
It should have gone through. It said send.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the process that we're going to see today is represented by the fact that when we daven, the beginning of almost every blessing that we say is Baruch Atah Hashem, right? We say, how many times do you think we say that in davening? I'm sure there's a number. I just haven't counted. A lot, right? Every single one of the 18 blessings in the silent prayer, Namidah, ends with Baruch Atah Hashem. The morning blessings, Baruch Atah Hashem. Within davening itself, most blessings kind of wrap up with a Baruch Atah Hashem, right? And the Alter Rebbe explains here, and in other places in Chassidus as well, that the Baruch Atah represents this process of the fire from heaven coming from above and descending down to accept our korban. Baruch, as we started to speak about yesterday, means... What does Baruch mean?
We can see this in areas with
Right. Coming down. So first of all, what do we usually translate Baruch as? Bless, correct. We're asking God to bless us, right? Hashem, please bless us. Now, the blessing comes in the form of Hashem descending from above to below and giving us the ability to experience Him, right? Which we said is not a given, because God is infinite and beyond our ability to experience. And so we are trying to draw down God from where He is beyond our ability to experience down into our experience, okay? And that's represented by Baruch Atah. Baruch comes from the word lahavrich es hagefen, which means, does anyone do planting here? When you take, I'm not familiar with this, when you take a vine and you like bring it down back into the ground? Anyone familiar with this idea?
Never plant vines.
When you put it up the trestle, for example, you guide it
So that it can go back up.
Yeah. But I mean, there's the problem that it can be guided. Is my
Okay,
point.
so
It's not coming back down.
I wonder if that, the way the Havich HaSagefen could be to guide it.
Yeah, because otherwise it would...
Because I always thought of it like that you're taking it and bringing it back into the ground. I was like, okay, cool, I guess that's it. Okay, so...
Because I don't think plants want to go back to the ground.
That's a good point. That's actually something we're going to be discussing in this mimer. That the creatures of the dry land don't want to exist in the ground; they want to exist above the ground. So that's it's some sort of process that I guess if you're familiar with planting, lahavrich es hagefen it's called. So I guess it's to direct, to guide the vine, right? And we said birka needs to bend. We bend with our knees. Bricha is a pool where let's say water flows and then gathers into a pool, right? So from above to below. Bricha. So Baruch means to draw down. As Meir was doing this, right? To draw down. And then Atah, what does Atah mean? You. So we're drawing down. What are we drawing down? Hashem. And then so what's the you? Hashem. in a place where now he's been drawn down to our level that we could point at him and say you, right? You is second person, correct? First person's I. Okay. So usually our experience of God is in the third person. Who? He, right? God as he is not right in front of me as I can experience him directly, but as I know he exists as he's somewhere beyond me. Our goal in the davening, and in this aspect of the davening specifically, and what was going on in the korbanot, is to be able to draw down God from an incredibly high, lofty place beyond our ability to comprehend and to connect to, down into our experience, so to the point we can point at him and say, you. Not God as he is far away, but God as he's right in front of me. And so the Baruch Atah Hashem, right, that we're taking God, we're drawing him to a place where we can point to him, that's the process that we see in the korbanot. That's the Isra Sedila Sata that then leads to Isra Sedila Eila. I do my work in a limited capacity, and then God responds with his, I don't know if the word is infinity, and giving that to us almost as a gift, so that we can experience that within our own limited lives. And that's what we're trying to do in davening. That's one of the things we're trying to do in davening. And that's where the altar was going to end up getting to. That this is one of the services in the Beis HaMikdash. And there are other services as well that we're also trying to incorporate into our davening. But number one is this idea of Baruch Atah.
You said bricha is to draw down? What was the...
Bricha is a pool.
Oh, the bricha is a pool.
It's like a gathering of things that came from above to below.
Right, that's draw down. That's where you got that from.
Yes. Bricha, lahavri chesed. These are the proofs that Chassidus brings for the fact that we can say that Baruch means to draw down.
And what was it called? Brecha, and then the name of the knees?
So lahavri chesed gefen, and then this one is not from Chassidus. Birkayim. Beis, I can write it on the board because you'll see it's the same word. Right? Beis Reish Chaf is Baruch, right? With the final Chaf. Birkayim means knees. Also, we bend with our knees. That's, I definitely sure I didn't make that up, but that's not one that Chassidus brings. But we see the same language coming into modern Hebrew as well. When we bend down with our knees, same word. Going from higher to lower.
Whatever copies don't get taken, then let them come back to my office.
Okay. Amazing. Okay, so who did not get a Hebrew copy that would like a Hebrew copy? Welcome. You got you had. Do you want another?
Yes.
And anyone else need? Okay. And then we have English. Would you like both or would you like the English?
I'll take English. Sure, why not? I'll try both.
It's a direct side by side.
I'll try
So you
both.
can do whatever you'd like, but the Hebrew is direct translation, so hopefully that will help. Anyone else want English?
I can try Hebrew if there's another one.
Oh, yes. Okay. Amazing.
Me.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And again, how this connects all of these ideas to Yom Suf we're going to get to. But for now, we're going to be exploring that there are almost two avenues to experiencing God in our life. And the one that we're focusing on right now is the process of the Korbanot. There were different services in the Beis HaMikdash, and each one represented a different way that we connect with Hashem, because that's what the Beis HaMikdash was all about, experiencing Hashem. And that happened with the different services, that of the Kohanim, that of the Levim, represent different processes by which we go about connecting to God. So the first one that the Alter Rebbe is trying to establish for us that we can understand is the idea of Baruch Atah and of the Korbanot, the avoda of the Korbanot. And so we said, Isrusa de Sata, the small fire, triggers in Isrusa de Eila, the big fire that then comes and gives us inspiration and excitement and passion for God, one that we could not have achieved if it was only on our own. And then the Alter Rebbe is going to start to introduce us to the worlds of Alma de Iskasia, Alma de Iskalia that we did write on the board, but I'll write again, because now we're going to start talking about this idea, because the Alter Rebbe is going to say, where are we drawing God down from, and where are we drawing God down to? What do we mean? God is there and here, right? Like Musa came home this week, was like, Hashem is in the Shamayim. I was like, no, he's not in the Shamayim. He's also in the Shamayim and also here. And she was like, no, he's in the Shamayim. He's in the heavens. So anyway, I have to give her, she goes to Beis Yaakov, so I have to give her a, do my own efforts after she comes home. So what do we mean we're drawing God from up there to down here? God is everywhere. Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is everywhere, right? So from up there to down here, what's going on? So the Alter Rebbe now is going to introduce us to this concept, which for those of you who are learning with Rabbi Kaufman, I'm pretty sure it's chapter 26 of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe speaks about the hidden world and the revealed world, Alma Diskasia and Alma Diskalia. So the Alter Rebbe is going to be telling us about these two concepts and saying when we say we're drawing God from up there to down here, Baruch, from below to above to the point that now he's down here, he's you, we can point to him, we're drawing him down from the world of Alma Diskasia into the world of Alma Diskalia. And we're obviously going to have to understand what that means too. But let's start with defining Alma Diskasia and Alma Diskalia. Actually, before that, I think we have some reading to do, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's nice that we have lines here. You know what, let me take the English so I can also show us where we're holding in each one. So, does anyone have where we left off exactly? Which line?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, like from the bottom down.
There's numbers, no? Line numbers?
No, we don't have them.
Oh, you don't have them? Oh, okay. That's why I like this copy.
It's line 9.
Line 9. Okay. Mishacharav Beis Hamikdash. Avayna Hena Narkabanos. Mishacharav Beis Hamikdash. Okay. So line 9 after the full stop. And in the English, after the destruction of the temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th paragraph. Okay. So I'll just mark that here. After the destruction of the temple, Umishacharav Beis Hamikdash, when the temple was destroyed. So we're still in the middle of talking about the fact that the world was founded on 3 things: Torah, Avoda, Gmilut Chasadim. Avoda are the services of the sacrifices in the temple, and now the Alter Rebbe is going to say that now we have the prayers in place of those sacrifices. So, Umishacharav Beis Hamikdash. I'm sorry, there's a lot of abbreviations here. Beis Hey Mem Kaf stands for Bet Hamikdash, the holy temple. Tiknu, they established. Remember we said yesterday, who established? Who established the Anshe Knesset HaGadola, the great assembly in the time of the second temple, established. Tefillah, prayer, Kaneged HaKorbanot, in place of the sacrifices. Dehainu, this means, why prayer? Why not something else? Limsor Nafsho HaBahamit, to give over his animal soul, so to speak, to sacrifice his animal soul, shetuchlal ba'esh shalmala, that it should be consumed by the fire from above, just as the physical animal in the time of the temple was burned, consumed by a fire that descended from heaven, so too our animal soul should be consumed with a fire from above. What does that mean? Bechinas, a level, ahavaraba, of a great love for God. Haba milamala, that comes from above, which means that God helps us to experience, because we cannot achieve that level of love on our own. The Isrusa de La'ela, and that's also called Isrusa de La'ela, an arousal, an awakening, an inspiration from above. When God turns towards us, shines his countenance on us to the point that we can experience him, love him, connect with him beyond our own limited capabilities. Lahavin. So now we need to understand. We know that the prayers were established in place of the korbanot, which means that every step of the korban process needs to play out in davening. So we know that first the simple kohen lit a small fire, then a fire descended from heaven. Where do we see that in our davening? The Alter Rebbe is going to say, in the Baruch Ata. So, V'lahavin, we need to understand. Keitzad hu marumaz b'tfila, how is it hinted to in our davening? How this fire descends from heaven and consumes the korban. And what do we say the answer is? How do we see that in the davening? In the words of the davening themselves? Baruch Ata. Acha inyan. And again, we have to explain like what that process looks like, but the Baruch Ata represents this. So Acha inyan, the idea is Zehu asher tiknu b'shmonasrei, the fact that it was established in the silent prayer, in the Amidah, Lomar, to say, Kol HaBrachot, all of the brachot we say in the same structured way. How do we say the blessings? Baruch Atah Hashem. And we said that Baruch Atah Hashem is talking about drawing God from above to below in a way that now we can point to him and call him you, that he is right in front of us, that he can be experienced in our own world. And now the Alter Rebbe is going to bring a verse and I am forgetting where it's from. We say it every day in davening, but maybe it's from Tehillim? I have to check the source of this verse. But there's a verse in Tanakh where we say, Baruch Hashem Elokei Yisrael min ha'olam va'ad ha'olam. Anyone heard this verse before? I'm trying to remember where. We say it in davening, that's why. There's a song. Min ha'olam va'ad ha'olam. It's in davening, that's why it's in a song. Okay, I have to check. I'm blanking out. I have to check where this comes in our davening, but we do say it every day. Baruch means bless or drawing down. Hashem, God. Elokei Yisrael, the God of the Jewish people. Min ha'olam, from the world. Va'ad ha'olam, until the world. It's a weird verse. We're blessing God, we're drawing God down from the world to the world. From which world to which world? Now the Alter is going to introduce us to the two worlds, to the hidden world and to the revealed world, to Alma de Iskasia, the hidden world, and to Alma de Iskalia, the revealed world. So should I write them on the board again, or do you have it in the Hebrew? The Alma de Iskasia, Alma de Iskalia. Does anyone want me to write it again on the board? Yeah? Let's do it. Again, Aramaic, so we have funny spelling. Don't learn your Hebrew spelling for these words. Okay.
It's found.
I knew it. Yeah. No.
I found it in the Hebrew.
You found it inside?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Alma de Iska. For those who are following in the English, it's good to have it on the board. This died. Alma de Iskasia. And Alma de is 2 years in Alma de Iskalia. Yeah. De Iska. Sorry. Alma de Iskalia.
Which one's which?
Alma de Iskasia is the hidden world. Alma de Iskalia is the revealed world. Giloi, we talk about God's revelation. Giloi, revelation. Iskasia, we were trying to find the Hebrew there, which I know there is, but what word did we say?
Hester or something.
Hester, right, that there's very similar words here. Esther, Hester, which means concealment, hiddenness. The hidden world and the revealed world. Okay, so what do we mean when we say that there's two different worlds? Two categories of worlds. Hidden worlds and revealed worlds.
Spiritual and physical world?
Spiritual and
Or
physical.
what you can see in this world and then what's Hashem hid from you? Like the...
So in a way you're right, but with that definition is not enough because that's not the only difference between the two.
Tzimtzum,
What do you mean by that?
like the Hashem... What were there before and the other? Like Chassid, like Hashem, contracted the light to fit the vessels.
And that would be what? Which world?
The hid in our revealed world.
In the revealed world. That's Hashem as he limited himself through Tzimtzum so that he can be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. You learned about Alma Diskasi, and Tanya, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So a bit. I mean, we talked about like the sun coming out from its shield and like
and that would be
when the shield is there, it's.
We spoke about more of the Kabbalistic, like about like when it comes to like pain, like it comes from the hidden world.
It comes from
like
Alma
the highest
Diskasi.
level.
Yeah.
So did you define the two worlds or focus more on
the fact
that the pain comes from the hidden and
but not like we didn't get deep into each one.
Okay. So that's where I'm gonna push you guys. We need to understand. We say that, right? Pain, suffering comes from Alma Diskasi, and that revealed good comes from Alma Diskalia because it's revealed to be good. It makes sense and it's good in our own understanding of goodness, right? And so as Rishi said there needs to be tzimtzum. God needs to limit himself in order for us to experience his goodness, right? Is that where you were getting there with that? Like, is that the context that you learned the idea of tzimtzum in? Pretty much? Okay. So we're going to try and understand first, okay, when we say that pain, suffering comes from the hidden world, what is the hidden world? Is it this like planet that's hiding? Is it what is it? What is the revealed world? Is it just this physical world? Does it include also the worlds where the angels are? Does it silut? Actually, don't ask me about silut because that's every time is it the hidden world, is it the concealed world? I always get mixed up there. Every year I'm like, I think that's already still the concealed world, but
wouldn't it be the four worlds? Wouldn't it be the worlds besides Asiya would be hidden? Like,
okay, so that's what you would think.
See
So that's why I wanna. That's what you would think when we say hidden and revealed. We think, okay, the parts of God, godliness, spirituality that we can't touch and see would be the hidden world. The parts that we can touch and see are the revealed world. That's not the case. That's what we would say. Gashmias and Ruchnias. Have you heard these terms? Gashmias means physicality. That's the whole world. All the things that we can touch and feel.